How to become a finished article. So, you've just been given an academic article to read for the very first time. What are you going to do? This video will guide you through reading an article. We will give you lots of handy tips and tricks to master getting the most out of your reading without your brain exploding. You may be tempted to dive straight in, but there are lots of things you can do to make sense of the article before you read even the first word.
Tip number 1. Start with the basic. Remember GCSE history, when you found out lots about interpretations from who wrote it, or when it was written, or even why they wrote it. Those skills weren't all for nothing. Find the author, the title of the article, where the publication is from, and when it was written. These features will appear in every article, right at the top of the first page.
Tip number 2. Treat the abstract as your best friend. But what is it? An abstract is a summary of the whole article. It gives you a brief rundown of the main points. Reading this can save you time in the long run. In this abstract, the author, Simon Potter, outlines what historians have already said, the purpose of the article, and his line of argument. He concludes the abstract with one concise sentence that sums up his entire argument. This is a key sentence which you can find in most abstracts. It gives you a clue as to whether the whole article is relevant for you or not.
Tip number 3. Highlight keywords, dates and figures from the abstract. This will help you structure your reading and note-making when you start reading the article itself.
Now you're ready to start reading. But where do you start? Don't just read from beginning to end. Remember, it's about quality, not quantity.
Tip number 1. Read the introduction and the conclusion. The introduction will briefly establish the topic. The conclusion will summarise the author's findings. This provides the outline for the article without you having to read every single word.
Tip number 2. Read the first and last sentence of each paragraph carefully. If the author has made his argument clear, you can find the key points by just reading a few lines. This will save you bags of time.
Tip number 3. Skim read the whole article for key words, dates and figures. To do this effectively, quickly read sections and note down the important points.
Tip number 4. Use your own words to make notes on the article. This will make you think more deeply about the author's argument and your own understanding. Perhaps make a bullet point list and come up with 3 key points that the author makes.
And finally, tip number 5, perhaps the most important tip. Don't panic. We all have to start somewhere. You have lots of support available from teachers, from your peers, and from the whole school community. This will all help you to become an expert at reading academic articles.
Thank you for watching, and we wish you the very best of luck for your future studies.